Still no timeout. And that was going to be it at this point. I don't understand. They just take a timeout. This was still scary. Oh, my goodness. What a way to end Turkey Day. What an interesting ending, especially on Thanksgiving Day. The Lions win 23-20 on the strength of their running game in the first half, a relatively good defensive performance, and a little help from the Bears. Welcome back to the channel. I am your host, Johnny Gaz. Thank you for returning for another video. The Bears find another way to lose here in 2024 as they drop to 4-8, but the Lions continue to roll as they now improve to 11-1, their 10th victory in a row, the most since 1934, and the best start in franchise history. Let's react to this game by looking at the plays, reacting to the team stats, the box score. I'll give out my game balls, my game MVP. Of course, we'll talk about the ending to the game, but most importantly, we'll talk about what we're thankful for from these Lions here in 2024. Let's go. Before we talk about the Turkey Day game, make sure to hit the like button. It's the best free way to help out the channel. I'd also love it if you consider subscribing. We're now on the road to 3,000 thanks to you guys. And if you hit the notify bell, you won't miss any future videos. There's a membership option available. That's where I do my live game play-by-play reactions, my new ladder series, and a ton of other fun stuff. But there's always free content here for you. Let's get into this Turkey Day matchup, but before we do, make sure to comment down below. What did you think about this ending? Should Matt EBERFLUS be fired? He's now, I believe, 5-18 now in one-score games, and this one might not be escapable. Let me know down below. Let's get into it. There was a lot to dissect from this game on Thanksgiving Day, but let's go through it for what it is. It's a day of Thanksgiving, and we should be thankful for the Lions getting a victory on a day where things could have gone a different way. And teams of Lions past may not have won this football game, but the Lions found a way. So I am thankful that the Lions were able to get a win. I am also thankful for the Lions' rushing attack. That was excellent in the first half. The Lions were able to open up this game with a 16-0 lead on the strength of Sonic and Knuckles, David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs. Gotta love those shoes. What a fantastic look. What a great way to piece in the CBS marketing and the culture and the team, and it was really cool. But the Lions did settle for field goals often in the first half, and they were only able to leave that half up 16-0. Caleb Williams, the Bears, finally started to get something going in the second half and got their first touchdown. The Lions then respond, and you think, okay, the Lions will now pull away. Well, that really didn't happen. Bears respond with another touchdown. Lions offense then kind of goes into a funk. They sort of leave the strength of their offense, the running game, a little bit, and the Bears are able to claw back into it. Lions uncharacteristically miss a field goal after the JMO personal foul, which we'll talk about down the road. It's kind of a really stupid penalty. Unfortunately, back them up, and they end up missing a field goal, which then gives the Bears an opportunity to again score a touchdown and bring themselves to within 3 points. And then we then open up this video with the scene we saw there at the end of the game where the Bears have a timeout in their pocket with about 36 seconds left. Clock ticking. They need to reset. They can either choose to take that timeout, spike the ball, which is probably not the right play because they're not in field goal range, or quickly run a play and then take their timeout. I think the right play there was to immediately take your timeout with the 32 seconds or so left. Set yourself up, take your time, get the right play in, then run your field goal team in and kick the tying field goal. You know, I think that was the call to make. They didn't make that call. Instead, they did what they did, let the clock run out, and ran a tough deep ball play to Adunze, which killed the rest of the clock and ultimately killed the Bears on Thanksgiving Day. So again, we have a lot to be thankful for. The Lions are very thankful for Matt EBERFLUS and his clock management at the end of this game. I'm very thankful for this 2024 Lions team. More than anything else, they've given us a lot of fun so far. They've won a lot of games by multiple points, multiple scores. This one was not that. We can't expect every game for this Lions team to win by multiple scores. This is the NFL. It's Thanksgiving Day. It's a divisional opponent. And Caleb Williams pulled some magic as he had all season long. The Bears did exactly what they've been doing all season long. And the Lions did exactly what they've been doing all season long, and that is winning. And I am thankful for that. Now let's buzz through those team stats and see how this game shook out. First downs, Lions 25 to the Bears 17. Third down efficiency, always huge in any matchup. Lions 5 of 14 to the Bears 7 of 15. Total plays 69 to the Bears 59. Total yards, Lions at 405 to the Bears 301. Pretty much the same drives. Yards per play, 5.9 for the Lions to 5.1 for the Bears. Passing yards, 211 for the Lions, 223 for the Bears. We'll look at the individual stats and break that down a little bit more detail. Rushing the football, 194 yards for the Lions to 78 only for the Bears. I mean, that's a huge stat discrepancy. Lions obviously with the heavier rushing attack. And, you know, overall in the season, the Lions' defense against the rush has been really, really good. There's been a couple games where there's been some outliers, but overall, especially the last 4, they've been really fantastic. And the Bears really got away from the run altogether in this football game, only 78 yards. In the red zone, Bears 1 for 1 in their attempt. And again, this is when the Lions tend to struggle. They were only 2 for 5 in the red zone. The only other game that they've truly struggled in, maybe outside of that comeback in Houston, is the game that they lost to the Bucs. And in that game, I think they were 1 of 7 or 1 of 8, something like that in the red zone. That's how you lose. You settle for field goals. You don't convert touchdowns. So Lions 2 for 5. I think that was huge. Penalties did play a part in this. 8 for 78 for the Bears. 6 penalties for 79 yards for the Lions. Lions did have the 1 turnover. I think that's another huge factor in this game. The Lions were up 16-0 at the time. Driving again, I think this is the point where they could have separated themselves, maybe put this game out of reach altogether, but you have the Jahmyr Gibbs fumble. And I'm not going to beat him up on this, but the truth is he had the fumble in the NFC Championship game, which was huge. And you have another one here, not in the biggest moment ever, but you just can't have that. And that played a part in this football game. Otherwise, the Lions controlled the possession. Lions had complete control of this football game in the first half, and we know what happened. Let's go into this box score and look at some individualized stats. Now let's first start with the quarterbacks. Starting on the Bears side with Caleb Williams, finished 20 of 39 for 256 and 3 touchdowns. Was sacked 5 times. Kind of the MO for the Bears here this season. He's been sacked in more than any other quarterback. On the other side of the coin with the Lions, of course, Jared Goff. 21 of 34, 221, had the 2 touchdowns, was only sacked 1 time. And then, of course, it's funny you see Penei Sewell here. They did try the trick play pass to Penei Sewell. He smartly tucked it away. He probably could have thrown the ball away, but he figured might as well try to get a run out of it. Lost a couple yards, but the crowd loved it. So that's where you see him for 0 for 0 and took a sack, unfortunately. The first sack of his career. Rushing the football, of course, Caleb Williams also led their team in rushing. 4 carries, 39 yards, equaling DeAndre Swift's yardage on the day, 39 yards on 11 carries. And again, the Bears just abandoned the run game at a certain point. And that's been the Lions' strength on defense, is stopping the run. I think over the last 4 weeks, they've really been good holding down the other team's primary back. Detroit rushing the football, again, really opened up strong. David Montgomery, 21 carries. You knew he was going to get the bulk of it against his former team, the Bears. Finished with 88 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs, 9 carries, 87 yards. Had the 28-yard long. They did a few end-arounds to J-Mo, 2 for 18. And Jared Goff didn't have to get out and scramble much. But they had 194 rush yards on 33 attempts. So, again, another great average there as well on the ground. With the Bears having to come back in the second half and their offense starting to pick it up, their receivers were a big part of this. DJ Moore leading the way for them with 8 receptions, 97 yards, and a touchdown. Keenan Allen, the Lion Killer, 5 receptions, 73 yards, and 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Swift, that's kind of where he actually had an impact with a 29-yard long. He had 2 receptions for 35. Cole Kmet, Rome Odunze also involved. On the Lions side of things, Amon-Ra St. Brown did lead the charge with 5 receptions, 73 yards, but no scores. Second game in a row with no touchdowns for him. Tim Patrick, I thought, again, impactful catches again. 2 for 48. David Montgomery, 3 for 36. J-Mo, 5 for 28. Again, had the tough penalty, but I thought, again, receiving was good. Good on the end around. Obviously had the hurdle. So with the good, you get the bad. With J-Mo, again, Jahmyr Gibbs involved, 2 for 17. Brock Wright. And again, Sam Laporta, 2 touchdown catches on the day, but 3 receptions overall, only 6 yards. But obviously, we'll take the touchdown scores. You'd like to see him more involved between the 20s. But overall, again, decent day receiving for the Lions. Let's quickly buzz through the defensive stats for the Chicago Bears. Kevin Byard led the charge, 10 total tackles. He was very good. The one sack came from Gervon Dexter Sr. Jonathan Owens also had 8 tackles for the Lions. Brian Branch, the safety, led the charge for them, 6 tackles. DJ Reader, I thought, was fantastic in this game. 4 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and had the 2 sacks. So he was really, really good. Zadarius Smith, also 3 tackles, had the 1.5 sacks that he was credited for today as well. And special teams, not much to note for the Bears, but I think for the Lions, a couple important things here. Maurice Alexander, they called up, replacing Khalif Raymond, and then obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown. They don't want returning punts in the long run. So he did have 4 for 42, nothing crazy. A decent return on one of the punts there on a 23-yard long, which set them up with a shorter field. Jake Bates, not concerning necessarily that he missed a field goal. Nobody thought he was going to be perfect all season long. So he's missed 1 field goal, 1 extra point, and he hit 3 others. So you got to give him a little credit. But remember what put the Lions in that situation. They may not be kicking a field goal if not for the JMO penalty. They had the 3rd and super long and were only able to get so many yards before having to kick that field goal in the first place. So a couple of things kind of led to that, but again, something to think about down the road. Also to mention, Jack Fox had a good day, only had to punt twice, but one of those punts pinned the Bears back deep, literally within the 1-yard line there when you had to have it and force the Bears to go a long field. So again, Lions special teams very good here in Week 13. And rather than game balls this week, we got to give out turkey legs for the Lions victory here, 23-20 over the Chicago Bears. Let's start offensively. I want to give a turkey leg to Jared Goff. 2 touchdowns today, 21 of 34, 221. He wasn't spectacular, but he didn't make big mistakes. I maybe asked to do too much in the second half when they really just turned to run the football, but I think he deserves a turkey leg today. I also think David Montgomery deserves a turkey leg. 21 carries. He was the bell cow, 88 yards. No scores for either running back, which is very rare for these Lions, for this Lions rushing attack. But again, he was good today. Outside of that, I would also give Sam Laporta a turkey leg today. I think he deserves one. 2 touchdowns. He's been a little quiet so far this season because of some injuries, because of the other options offensively, which is a good thing. But you'd like to see him, again, more yardage, more catches, more of a weapon that offenses have to consider. And obviously 2 touchdowns will help that. So he deserves a turkey leg. And over on the defensive side, got to let those guys eat. I'm going to give turkey legs to Brian Branch. Thought he was all over the field, again, leading the Lions in tackles today. Also want to give one to Zadarius Smith. I think he's affecting games. That's exactly what the Lions wanted when they brought him in from Cleveland, especially with all now the injuries over the defense. They're going to need him more and more. So, again, he gets a turkey leg. And then my overall game MVP for this Thanksgiving Day game victory for the Lions over the Bears has got to be DJ Reader. And really their entire interior of the defensive line is holding them in this and really carrying this defense. They now have more injuries on the edge with Josh Pascal. They added another injury in the linebacking crew. We know what they're suffering with in the cornerbacks. So they've really had to rely on the interior pieces. Today it was DJ Reader's turn. He had 2 sacks. He multiple tackles for loss. And again, they are forcing the play on the interior of that defensive line for the Lions. So not only does he get as many turkey legs as he can eat today, he is the overall MVP for Thanksgiving Day for the Lions. The Lions are very thankful on this Turkey Day to get a victory, 23-20 over the Chicago Bears. They are now 11-1 and still in control of the NFC. Next week, they will host the Green Bay Packers again on Thursday night, prime time. Should be a fantastic divisional matchup. Lions are hoping to get healthy. They'll have a 7-day break now. After that Green Bay game, they'll have a 10-day break, a mini bye week, which I'm sure they're looking forward to. We'll have to monitor the new injuries this week, especially with Malcolm Rodriguez. I think that might be the most serious one coming out of this, and then Levi Onwuzurike as well, among others. These injuries are really stacking up on defense. Can the Lions recover? Let me know down in the comments, what do you think about this Thanksgiving win, the Bears debacle at the end of the game, and can the Lions recover defensively from all of these injuries? Let me know in those comments down below. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to slap that like button if you dig the vibe here at Johnny Gas Sports. If you haven't already, I'd love it if you consider subscribing. We're going to get to 3,000 now, thanks to you guys. And if you hit the notify bell, you won't miss any future videos. That little blue join button on all my videos is how you can become a part of the family. Hit that there and I'll walk you through all the steps and what that gives you. I really appreciate everybody, all the involvement. Thank you guys so much. I am grateful for you, thankful for you. I hope everyone had a fantastic Thanksgiving Day. Go Lions.